Hey, welcome back everybody. Hope you're doing great today. Today we're going to be talking about enclosures, and I'm going to give you a couple hints and a couple tricks that you can use to kind of keep the cost of your enclosures down, some DIY tips for them, and make it a little bit cheaper for us to facilitate keeping these animals. So don't go nowhere, we'll be right back on Intrepid Exotics. So I got this rare opportunity during the week, and I don't have a whole lot of calls going on, so I needed to come down here and clean my Burmese python's enclosure anyway. And I thought this was a good opportunity to talk about this, because I could talk and work, and then I get him done. I'll show you some of the details, you know, specifically on these things that I'm talking about. So I'm hoping that as I go through this thing, I think I'm at 33 videos or something right now, counting the shorts. I'm hoping that my skills kind of start to polish up a little bit as I go. I've never been much of a camera person, so it's always a little odd talking to people through a camera. But I know these kind of videos helped me a lot when I first got started, and I want to return the favor all I can. So I really hope you guys are getting something out of it. And the way for me to know that is if you're liking and subscribing and putting down there in the comments, yeah, what you're getting out of it. It helps me improve the content, helps me help you guys better. So this enclosure right here is one that I purchased. It's a PVC enclosure, and I've mentioned in previous videos how I've got to secure the doors on this thing because it's got this really small track, and this animal right here knows how to pop this thing out and wander off if he wants to. So we try to avoid that at every possible opportunity. And I laid my snake to, there we go. So I've got to take him out and clean. Come here, dude. Come on, buddy. Okay, you're gonna hang out over here, huh? Now, this enclosure is, like I said, it's PVC. This whole setup right here run me pretty close to around 900 bucks. And you know, that's looking at the enclosure. I've got a radiant heat panel up top that I'll show you here in a little bit, and the thermostat and so forth. They're not a cheap setup. I do like the PVC because, you know, they're a lot easier to clean sometimes, and the stuff is pretty easy to work with. Again, I don't really like the tracks on them because they don't secure these doors well at all. But come on, buddy. You good? You look good. You look perfectly fine. Come on. And it's just a force of habit. I like to make first contact with my snakes with the hook anytime I can. If they're gonna do anything crazy, I want to have something in the way. So I'm gonna let him run around on the floor because that's where he likes to be anyway. And these basking platforms, I really kind of like these. It gives them a little extra temperature gradient because I put them right here, right underneath the heat panel. And I've got the temperature probe right there, about the same level. So their basking temperature is going to be set for right here, you know, 88-ish degrees, something like that. So that gives them a wider temperature gradient. It's going to be a couple degrees cooler over here and then cooler on the other side of the enclosure too. But I'm going to keep talking and walk around here for a second. Then one of the biggest expenses with building enclosures is going to be the doors. You're going to want to have either tempered glass, which tempered glass, safety glass, similar to the stuff that's in your car windows, except it's only one ply in most cases. But you definitely don't want to have a regular untempered glass in there because when it breaks, it's going to leave those nice long sharp edges on it, and it can slice your snakes right open when they get out. So you want to make sure that it's all tempered. Let me go chase him down for a second. And if you guys want to, you know, at some point, I can put out another video on, you know, how you can determine if the glass is tempered or not. So one of the biggest tips I've got for this when you get into building your own enclosures is you can do like I've done on the one directly below here, my reticulated python enclosure is one of the first ones that I built. And I used to be into aquariums. Used to have a lot of saltwater aquariums and things like that. And I had one that was a 4 foot long aquarium, and it was all tempered. So it kind of dawned on me that that would make really good doors for a snake enclosure. So as you look down here on this one, that's what I've got. These panels of glass right here are the tempered glass off of an aquarium. I already had that one, so it didn't cost me anything. And the melamine that this is made out of, although it's really heavy, it was only like $25 to $35 a sheet. Typically, I don't know. It's been a while since I built one, so I don't, price may have went up. But I mean, so essentially, I get the whole body of this. It takes 2 sheets of melamine to build this, and I use scraps on the platform, and then the doors I had, you know. So it cost me, you know, less than 60 bucks really to build this enclosure. Then all I had to do was, you know, shell out another 150 for the heater. I think it was like 30-40 bucks or something like that for the thermostat. So as far as the price goes on it, I mean, if you're looking at building one, I think this is the way to go. I mean, if you don't have to move it a lot, because the time that I did have to move this, these things are really a pain because they're really heavy, and you're gonna have to put some elbow grease into moving it. But I mean, I don't have any complaints about the one that I built. And like I said, overall, you know, even with the heater and everything, less than 200 bucks. I did this one. This one right here cost me, you know, $800-900 bucks by the time it was all said and done with shipping and whatnot. And plus I think it was a 3-month wait to get it or something. And I've still got to jerry rig the doors on it because they won't, you know, stay in place without extra, you know, being secured down with extra means. So, in my opinion, I mean, this is a better enclosure, and you know, just a fraction of the cost. So, and I try and kind of keep an eye on him. He is not shy about wandering around. And this is just Listerine right here that I keep in a spray bottle. This is what I use to clean all my enclosures with. It's a really good thing to keep on hand down here because it's a it's a disinfectant, and it not nearly as harsh as bleach is. You know, you're not exposing the animals to chlorine or anything like that, and works really good if you get a bite. Spraying Listerine, you know, into their heat pits in their mouth to get them to release. All of the scratches that I get from Niles when I have him out and he rips my arms open, hit it with the Listerine, cleans up your wounds. So it's stuff, it's like the magic juice for reptile keeping in general. Now, of course, I'm at the phase right now where I really want to get some better enclosures for these animals. I want to give them more space. I want to be able to have, you know, enclosures, you know, maybe 4 or 5 times this big for these guys. Especially for my retics. I want them to be able to climb because they love to climb. And yeah, at the moment, we just don't have the space or the budget for it. But you can keep these guys pretty comfortably in these 3x8 enclosures. You know, up until 14, 16 feet or something. They'll be all right. My personal belief is, you know, once they get 18, 20 feet, you at least got to have a 12x4 for them. So There you're looking at a pretty sizable enclosure, and I'm going to have to just do a completely custom build when they get that big. So if I'm going to have something that's that big for my snakes, it's going to be a zoo level display. Yeah, the water source in there from the swim on that I can drain and whatnot. But you know, we all keep within our means, which is what this is all about, really. All right. And you know, this was something that I really wanted to talk about, because you see it with all the animal reviews and things like that. You know, there's a fella named Clint Laidlaw, Clint's Reptiles. Very awesome guy. I've watched probably every one of his videos 3 or 4, 15 times. And I really love that guy's stuff. And one of the things that he goes into when you're planning on getting a reptile is, you know, costs. And a lot of times with the retics, just like with most things, you know, the animal itself, if you don't get any special morph, you may be able to get for a couple $100. And then if you're not careful, you can end up spending a couple grand after that. Hopefully he doesn't think this is a little rabbit. You know, on enclosures and setup and things like that, when you don't need to. You know, like I said, at some point I'm going to get these guys into some really cool, really zoo quality enclosures. But you know, of course, it's part of the reason why I started putting out YouTube content. You know, I want to start generating enough stuff here so that I can get out of this place, get into a bigger place, start giving these guys the type of enclosures that I want to give them, and be able to get some more animals. Because at this point, I've completely run out of room. Which really makes me sad, because I see a lot of stuff on a regular basis that I'd really like to have. And it's one of the pitfalls of owning these guys. You know, sooner or later, you probably are going to run out of room. And it sucks, but you just got to tell yourself, dude, you just don't have room for it to take care of it right, so don't get it. So that's the place where I'm at right now. And we're waiting to get moved up so I get more space. Especially with Niles here, because the Nile monitor enclosure's got to get tripled pretty soon. So there's that too. Come on, buddy. Come on. Maybe if he gets a chance to say hello, he'll calm down a little bit. Come on, bud. Get your girl up there. Tell everybody hi. That's Apollo. He's my 6 or 7 year old male Burm. And this guy's awesome. He's one of the best snakes. I would recommend Burmese pythons to anybody. And these guys are really easy to work with. Despite what you see on the swamp hunter crap out there. Of course, those are wild caught, so big difference. But once you get one that's captive bred, all right now. It is the equivalent of having a 2-year-old, though. Come on. All right. Get this tied back up. Come on, bud. Go on home. And here you can see what I'm talking about too, with what I need to do in order to secure this thing. Got handles secured on both doors. Just use regular cabinet handles on them. And if you're really careful, you can drill through those. A couple washers and secure those cabinet handles. And so this is the $900 setup that I've got to tie the doors down on and wedge the middle just to keep him from getting out. I'm going to show you. I'm going to turn this around here. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this one right here is the one that I had made, and you really can't see the track just because of the way I did this one. I've got the one I just cut an L-shaped channel into this piece of ripped down 2x4 behind it, and then put this in front of it, so that created a channel for it. And it still lifts up just the same way all of them do, but so much more secure. This one's not going anywhere, and this is just a fish tank wall. These locks right here you can pick up on Amazon, 5 at a time for peanuts. But so yeah, if you've never thought of that, that's a good way to save some money. And we've also got, so we've got the long sides of the fish tank there. And if we walk over here, I made this other smaller enclosure right here. Like I said, I got 2 sets of doors for nothing. I mean, you can look around on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. You know, look for fish tanks that people are getting rid of. You know, somebody may have a 100-gallon aquarium or whatnot that started leaking, and they think it's garbage. And you pick it up. You know, just because the seals on the end are broke, you're going to break those seals anyway. You know, take them home. As long as they're tempered glass, throw them on there. You just save yourself a ton of money on your enclosure. So it's not really cost prohibitive to have these guys. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on the enclosure. You can keep these guys perfectly healthy in here. And as you can see, I've got them out all the time anyway. So they get to stretch out, stretch your legs, and get plenty of time to roam around, especially in the summertime when I take them outside. My little baby Burmese here, took the bedding out of her enclosure and put her on paper, because after I'd fed her the other day, she had gotten some substrate stuck in the back of her jaw that she couldn't get out, and I had to tug that out of there for her. As you can see, I keep these guys on newspaper. I've seen people that use the wood fuel pellets, and as far as bedding goes, it's not a bad bedding, but I've also seen a lot of this stuff get impacted into the gums of these animals. If they rub a lot, if they start to get a lot of moisture on their mouth, they'll get into that, and stuff will get packed into their gums. And like I said, with my little Burm there, she took a meal down, and I had to pull a wood chip out of her mouth. So people talk about having natural substrates, and that's what they do in the wild, but I don't like pulling things out of the gums of my animals, and I don't like my animals getting infections and things like that in their mouth. For right now, newspaper's free. Gas station down at the end of the road gives me all of it that I need. So I hope this helped you guys a little bit. If you've got any other tips or tricks that you want to add, throw them down in the comments, man. I can go ahead and add all that stuff. If not into my next build, add it into the next video that I make. This is all out here to help the community keep these animals healthy and try not to go broke doing it. If you liked it, like, subscribe, get notified. Monday, of course, starts my week off, so come Monday morning, I'm going to start filming. I want to get 4 or 5 new videos out then too, so you'll definitely want to get notified of it. Have an outstanding rest of the week, and I will see you all next week on Intrepid Exotics. Have a great day.